Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Sri Lanka.
Indeed.
That's where we were for this episode.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
And it was a lovely place.
oh my goodness, I wasn't prepared
Yeah.
for how beautiful it is and how lovely the people are, and
And how hot it was.
yeah,
That
I
goes
think that's a
without
given
saying.
at this point.
Absolutely.
So we signed up for something that I was really excited for from the very beginning when we
Right.
first saw this excursion. Actually, no, I booked this one on Tours by Local again.
Yes. you did.
And Aja,
Ajif.
was our guide, and he aimed to please. He seemed like a very Zen guy.
Yeah.
Yes, he cared about the animals and
What
oh,
animals?
what animals? Animals. So we signed up for
He was just a Buddhist.
a one-day safari in the Yala National Park in Hambantota, Sri Lanka.
Yes. And what was interesting about Yala was National Geographic had named it as the sixth best national park in the world.
I had no idea.
Me either.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you, I guess my feet did touch the ground at one point.
What do you mean?
Never mind. But so we start out, we get off the boat, we walk, and I'm looking everywhere for the sign, the magic sign with our name on it. And there he is. So we cross this busy street, and we all pile in this enormous Jeep.
It was a Toyota truck that had six seats installed in the back.
Yes,
With a
but they
cover.
were kind of tiered upwards, so
Yes.
that every seat was on the outside, so you could
See the animals.
full view, and the windshield went up too.
Yes,
We were just like real
that was
real safariists.
cool. A real adventure.
Yes.
It was a little drive. It took us
Yeah,
45 minutes.
yeah. I'd
To
say
an hour to
maybe
get
an
to the
hour
park.
to get there, but he took us in a route that we saw lots of animals.
Yes.
So
yeah?
it wasn't just on the highway, which was the fast way to go. He said, but let me take you, on these back roads, and maybe we'll get lucky and we'll see things.
Yes.
And boy, did we. Just even before we got to the park, okay, number one, do you know where peacocks come from? Where they're indigenous to?
Sri Lanka.
I didn't know that.
We saw lots of peacocks and peahens.
Lots of peafowl. Lots and lots of
Okay.
peafowl.
Okay.
We saw sea eagles and monitor lizards and a pelican and more of those herons that like the cows.
Yeah.
We saw a crocodile.
We did, just hovering there in the water.
Jeff got a picture.
Yeah.
Um,
A jackal.
you saw a jackal. I didn't look up fast enough to see him, but he said, "Oh, that was a jackal."
Yep.
We saw cormorant and a pied kingfisher.
Sure.
So I'll find a picture of that. And spotted deer. So now what's exciting about the spotted deer is that that's one of the main food sources for the real star of the show at Yala National Park,
Yes.
which we'll talk about in a second.
Okay.
We also saw water buffalo, and we went over a little bridge, and there they all were. They had
Swimming.
the right idea.
They were all down swimming in the river,
Oh, yeah.
just hanging out.
I don't know if there were crocodiles in there with them, but maybe.
I don't think crocs would mess with them.
Oh no, they're too big.
Yeah.
And they are. They're huge.
Yes.
We saw mongoose.
Well, now we're in the park.
That's true. So is a plural of mongoose mongooses, or is it geese mongoose?
I think they're just mongoose,
Okay.
singular and plural.
Okay. I don't know. But they look kind of like a mink, I
Yes, they
suppose.
did.
They're long and skinny. They got a long tail.
Mhm.
Little
Furry
face.
looking, little furry face.
Yeah.
Mean teeth, wicked teeth.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh,
That's why they attack things and eat them,
eat 'em.
including
Cobras.
cobras.
Yes.
Mongoose versus cobra fight.
Well,
We
yes.
did not get to see one, unfortunately.
Not
Or
a fight.
enemy,
We
not a
saw the
fight.
mongoose.
We saw
so
the mongoose.
But we didn't see him eat or fight anything.
Well, we didn't want to pay extra to see the guy open a box with a cobra in it.
That was another time.
It's still a cobra.
Exactly. So, but then we did enter the park, and we kind of came at an off time. He said the very best time to go in the park, of course, is 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
When all the animals are waking up and it's the cool of the day. We got there about 9, I think. Yes. And there were some cars leaving. Now, everybody's in the same style of cool
Vehicle.
Jeep.
Yeah.
Not real easy on the back. There's a lot of bouncing.
Well, we're on dirt roads in the park.
It was dirt roads, absolutely. But so beautiful and so exotic and so different from anything we've ever done before. So, so we get into the park, and our driver,
It's
again
also a
with the
spotter.
bionic eyes,
Yes.
though, yeah, he would stop and back up just a little, and then he'd point out and say, "There's a mongoose." And we're like, "What?"
And then
We
it
see it.
just take you a second to see it.
Exactly. And he did that with spotted deer, which really blend in well. Wild boar. We saw wild boar.
We did.
Pretty up close with their
Yeah.
little spiky backs.
Yeah, they're funky hairstyles.
Yeah.
They were like little teenage punks with mohawks.
I wonder if they were razorbacks.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They were boars, nonetheless.
They were wild. They were wild.
And then, what did I spy off in the distance?
Elephants.
Yeah.
Elephants. He was really off there. We were so excited. He had to have been.
Oh, 1,000 yards away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
but we
could
were
see
all
the
excited.
two of them, and you could see them moving around. They were, little, like I said, pretty far off, but they were still impressive. Looking, they were so
They
cool.
were.
Elephants are cool.
Elephants are very cool. So,
Uh,
but off in the distance ahead of us, and I think our driver also had a cell phone. He was talking to other
Yes.
drivers, and yeah, somebody had spotted the real
star.
the real target of the day, a leopard,
leopard.
in a tree. So we get up there, we abandon the elephant. We're like going, but it's an elephant. Where are we going?
Well,
Where-
there's more to come on the elephants.
Exactly. So we get up there, and at first he's very hard to see.
Yes.
Even with your binoculars, really hard to see.
Blended in.
You wouldn't think those orange and black, the black spots in the orange coat, which is so vibrant and so beautiful, would blend in, but it really did.
It looked like the light, going through the leaves and hitting the bark on the tree.
Exactly.
Perfect camouflage.
But we did find him, and you got some pictures.
Yes.
There was one particular branch that just kept getting in your way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Frustrating.
It was. It clearly blocked his face, but when the cat finally stood up, I got some good shots of him
Yeah.
moving down the branch, the tree branch,
Mm-hmm.
and that was just amazing.
Thrilling. Just absolutely thrilling to see. And this cat must have been 150 pounds. Easy, right?
Easy.
Yeah.
I would have
He was
guessed he
big.
was big. He was probably 180 pounder.
Wow.
And when he stretched out on the branch, I still have to work on that photograph.
Mm-hmm.
You could just see how long he was. He was more than he was 6-7 feet. He was the biggest cat we saw that day.
When he yawned, I was like, he's yawning, he's yawning. His mouth was this big. It was enormous. It was just a real thing. His tongue was huge. No good pictures of the yawn. No.
No good
Yeah,
pictures
you
of
kind
the
of got to
yawn.
be sitting there already. And the camera's heavy because it's got a real long lens.
Yes.
We moved Jeff up to the front of the Jeep so you could support against.
I was trying to balance the lens on something.
Yeah.
Like a seat back. And
Yeah.
That worked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So that was right before lunch.
Yes.
And so the park actually closes down from noon to 2, and we were taken to a beach area with a
pavilion.
a nice, cool-looking pavilion.
Mm-hmm. And it had picnic tables,
Mhm.
which were nice. Stone picnic tables.
Yep.
I used one of our beach towels as a tablecloth, so we had the nicest table there.
Yes, we did. And we had lunch that we had purchased along the way. Of
Yes.
fresh fruit, bananas.
So the doctor had told us this before we left. When you're going to eat something in another country and you're unsure, you don't want to get traveler's diarrhea. You need to eat fruit that's not been washed by them. You need to eat fruit that has a peel or a rind around it. So that means that bananas are good.
Watermelon.
Yeah.
Mangoes.
Melons.
We had mango.
Like an apple is one thing you wouldn't want to eat because you have to wash that.
And a papaya. We had papaya.
So we have papaya and watermelon and bananas. And was there something else?
I thought we had mangoes, but maybe
no,
not.
no mango.
Okay.
And it was enough. We were hot. We also had some nice cool water.
Yep.
The best thing about this pavilion was it was right on the beach. Well, I mean, the beach was a little ways off.
We were near the water.
It was the Indian Ocean.
Yes.
And it was pristine and beautiful. The sand, I saw no trash anywhere. The sand was wonderful. I had shoes and socks on, and it was hot. You had to leave the comfort of the shaded area to walk down. I did go down to the beach for a little bit. I didn't take off my shoes and socks because I didn't want to have to deal with sand, and there really wasn't anywhere to rinse.
Because this was the heat of the day.
It was, and I didn't want to be out there real long. But it was beautiful. It was a really cool rock formation off to the one side. Just really lovely. The water was green and just gorgeous.
The colors between the sky and the water. We have a photo in the tree.
Mm-hmm.
We'll share that with you.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous.
It was a nice little stop, and there were a lot of people there with us. So we all had a table. We all had our own space, but the prevailing activity after we ate, there were almost everybody laid down and took a nap.
I did.
All the drivers, all the guides did.
There's nothing else to do.
The floor was tile, so it was cool.
Yes.
And there was lots of space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found a bench down under the tree and stretched out our tablecloth towel again. And I must have slept for a good 35 minutes at least.
Yeah.
And woke up all refreshed, ready to go.
Ready to hunt some more.
Yep.
Well, hunt. Yeah.
Hunt.
Spy.
Spot.
Spot. There you go.
We were looking.
So we pile back in the Jeep, which is a little bit of work of getting in and out of. So, and we're all seniors there in the bus. There were only 6 of us on this tour, so that worked out really nicely. We all pile back in, and our guide, Ajit, explained to us that one of the beauties of staying there for lunch and not leaving the park, but just pulling over and eating, is that the animals know that it got really quiet. All the vehicles are gone. So they start to come out again. So right after you get back on again, they're out there.
Yes.
So we spotted, we got so lucky. Yeah.
We spotted leopard number 2.
I tell you, there were people who said, you saw 2 leopards?
Yeah, we were.
They didn't see any. We saw 2.
We saw 2. And this one was just sitting there up on his tree perch, looking at everybody that was stopping to look at him. Mm-hmm. And
we were very close to this one.
We were very close to
You could see him with your own eyes.
Yes.
As opposed to the other one, I don't know that I could see him with my own eyes.
Well,
once I knew where he was.
Where he was. You could see him silhouetted with his ears poking out.
Exactly.
But once he stood, he was a whole lot easier.
True.
So this guy was just laying there sprawled out, all 4 paws just wrapped around this truck. He's just laying there, his tail's hanging down.
Yeah.
And he was just posing for us.
He was gorgeous.
Yes.
Absolutely gorgeous. And he posed for us for a while, and there were probably 7, 8 Jeeps there.
At least. I was going to say 10 to 12. But he finally got moving.
Yep. He stood up.
and then came down the backside of the tree and then right in front of us again. And I got some good photos of him there.
Walked right in front of us, bold as you please.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm in charge here. You
And
may
then
watch me now.
He, after he posed there for a little bit, he went back down the other side of the tree where we couldn't see him, jumped to the ground, and walked right between the vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So all these vehicles started back up trying to follow him
Yes.
into the woods. And we started down that track, but I happened to look behind us and I said, wait, elephants on the road.
So our guide said we could chase him, which, why do you want to chase him?
Yeah.
You're never going to catch him. It's never going to be as good as what you just saw.
Exactly.
And everybody else is doing that. Let's do our own thing. So he told the driver, he said, let's go look at those elephants over there. And sure enough, one of them was right beside the road.
Yeah.
He couldn't have been 12 feet from us.
Yeah.
He was enormous, and he was doing his little dance. He was sloughing at the grass, and he was moving
Kicking
his
up
trunk. Yeah, kicking up dust.
Kicking up dust.
He was moving his trunk to gather up the grass, and then he would eat. And then
he would kick the grass,
to
and then he'd pick
uproot
it up and shake it a little bit, toss it down on the ground, manipulate it, trying to get all the dirt off so he had just the grass. And then as soon as he was satisfied, curled the trunk up to his mouth and started munching.
And then behind him were two elephants, and our guide said they were doing a mating ritual.
Yes,
they were wrapping their trunks around each other.
Yes.
So that was really cool to see.
I got a couple photos of that that I still have to get ready.
Yep.
Yeah, it was an amazing trip.
Amazing. And don't forget, we also we saw a peacock nest that had chicks in it.
Yes.
What? Now we're in an angle where you could get any kind of picture.
No.
But I could hear them squawking and their little heads were sticking out, and I mean, I guess I never
How big
thought of
are
a peacock
peacocks?
having a nest.
Well, they have eggs.
I know, but
I wonder if the eggs are colorful.
we might have to research that.
We might
Probably
have to.
not. But it was off the ground too. It was probably 3-4 feet off the ground. So the peacock has to, or the peahen has to jump up there and take care of her chicks.
So they're protected a little bit.
Yeah,
They're not on the
yeah.
ground where.
But we saw a lot of peacocks
Yes.
and peahens. So yes, they're very prevalent, which was a real thrill. We never saw any with his, fan out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they weren't threatened by us.
they were absolutely beautiful blue.
Yes.
Oh, the colors on them were so vibrant.
Well, they were actually called blue peacocks.
Oh.
Was their name for them.
Okay.
At least the particular ones we saw, because they were predominantly blue, and we've seen green ones and other things in other places. So,
Yeah. The prettiest color blue you've ever seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Azure.
So yeah, that was we drove back. We saw some more animals along the way. A lot of what we'd already seen. So the spotted deer is the prey that the leopards
Yes.
like, but they will also eat boar and hare, rabbits.
Yeah, which
which
we
we
did see quite a few.
Yeah. So there seemed to be lots of food source for the
Yes.
leopards. Though I was surprised we saw as many as we did. So that's incredible.
Well, they could take down small water buffalo, too.
That's true. Yes.
They didn't mess with elephants, though.
Good. Because the elephants are cool.
Yeah. And they could kick pretty hard.
I bet. Yeah, I bet. So we drive back. Aj just tells us a little bit more about his country. He invites us to come and stay for a while, and that, it really is a beautiful country.
Yes, it was.
So, yeah.
And the park was just gorgeous. In fact, he was showing me yet another thing about the park. National Geographic is coming there to film
No kidding.
a piece on the park since they nominated it.
Oh,
So that'll be kind of cool.
awesome. We'll have to make sure we find that.
Yep.
I've been to Yala.
Yeah. We've been there.
So that was that day. It was one of the best days of our whole trip.
Yep.
To think that I've seen a leopard in the wild with my own eyes. Not one,
but two.
Two.
I hope we get as lucky in Africa.
We are spoiling.
Oh, shoot.
We're spoiling.
They already know we're going there.
You could tell, maybe if you're tracking our way, that, yes, we're heading that way, and we still have a couple months left. What's today? A good 7 weeks left.
We have 15 days till we get to Cape Town. So 2 weeks.
Yes.
We'll be in Cape Town.
Yes. Okay. 2 weeks. Yes.
Excuse me.
So that was day one of this episode. We're going to take a small break, and we'll come back and tell you about day two.
Okay.
All right. And we're back.
Just like that.
That was
without a commercial break, because you're paying big bucks not to have ads thrown at you.
Exactly. You're on the premium experience
there
of postcards today. So, yes, we're still in Sri Lanka then. So, after we left Yala and Hambantota, the boat did move to the capital of Sri Lanka, which is Colombo.
Colombo.
Not Colombo.
No, soft on the O.
Colombo.
Yeah.
The way they say it is
That's
so
the way
nice.
they say it. And it's a fairly good sized city.
Yeah.
1.5 million.
Mm-hmm. There's only 20 million people in all of Sri Lanka. Again, it's a culture that's very welcoming to all religions.
Mm-hmm.
We saw churches.
We did.
We saw mosques. I saw ladies
Hindus.
in cover. We definitely saw Buddhists
Mm-hmm.
and Hindus. Yes. So I think that covers all the religions, doesn't it?
Yeah, there was. In addition, there was Catholic and other Christian denominations there. So, okay.
So so we got up in Colombo, and I had before we took the cruise, I had connected with other people that were going to be on the ship, and people were finding different excursions outside of the ship. And, when you find them, sometimes you need several people, so they just put it out. This one sounded interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't think I knew what we were in for when we signed up. Having done it, I'm glad we did it. Yep. Was it worth it?
I don't know.
No. Yeah.
But
so, would I do it again, knowing everything I know? No. But it was a great experience.
If you have a whole day that you just want to waste, spending 8 hours in a bus.
A nice bus.
A nice bus.
No footrests.
Oh, I thought it did. Or didn't it?
I really don't think it did. But it was cool. Air conditioned.
Yes.
We had nice little lace coverings for our head. And there were only 10 of us, so we could spread out.
Yes.
Which everybody did. I don't think anybody was sitting side by side by the time we were done. No. So, 4-hour bus ride to get to where we were going, which was Sigiriya.
Sigiriya, also known as Lion Rock.
Lion Rock. So Sigya
is lion.
Siga is lion, mm-hmm. and Ria is rock.
Yep.
So Lion Rock. What to say about this thing? So
it was an architectural marvel in its day, but no one knows what it looks like. It was constructed in 500 AD.
I had a pretty good idea. The guide seemed to act as though he knew everything. Well, exactly how everything was. So, so first of all, you can see it from. It's a high point in the valley, or wherever we were. So was that caused by volcanoes pushing that rock
That's
up?
the only thing I can guess.
Yeah, geologists weigh in on that one.
Yeah. We'll send a photo.
Yeah, it's really high. It's way up there, and evidently it was only rediscovered in the 1820s. Not the rock, but all of the architectural and the civilization that built all of this. So the ancient Sri Lankans.
Yes, they were It was actually a palace, summer palace.
Yes, on top of the rock.
Well, no, I mean,
Oh,
the entire site was
Yes.
the summer palace, but he also had a place on top of the rock just for him,
Yes.
not his guest and all.
So, yes, 4 hours to get there. We get out. It's hot as Hades. We and one other couple that we really didn't know, lovely people, we decide we're going to walk up the rock. We're crazy.
Yeah, we were crazy.
Crazy. But, so we walked, and the guide was, he was fairly easy to understand. I got most of it. He did say things over and over, which was fine. It kind of helped to cement the knowledge a little bit. Because sometimes I didn't get it on the first time, so that was okay. He walked us through the park, and he showed us, like, when you first got in there, and of course, UNESCO World Heritage Site, you know, so. This all was built 500 AD.
500 AD.
Yes. So it has a moat around the outside of it, which is like 5 kilometers by 5 kilometers square. And then you get in, and then there's another moat. And then there's walls that went up
30 meters.
Yeah.
No, not 30 meters. 10 meters. 30 feet.
High. And then there's buildings, and there's a whole aqueduct system. Pipes. They had clay pipes.
Clay pipes.
That took the water throughout everywhere. They had swimming pools. They had
Concubine tunnels.
yes. He did say they used water for 3 things. He said this quite a bit.
Yeah.
They used it for defense, to cool, and for pleasure, and obviously to drink and bathe.
Right.
Yes. And it took 9 years to build all this, which I think was
phenomenal.
Incredible.
Yeah. Just the sheer size of it.
Exactly. And that that it was only really used as a palace for 18 years. Now they must have found scrolls or writing or something within this
Don't know.
vastness that tells him everything about it. He said a lot of it was discovered by the archaeologists. Okay, I need to learn more about that.
Yeah.
So that was the sculpture. That was all around the rock, or to the front of the rock probably. And then there were steps that went up the rock. So as we're going through, he's showing us things like thrones and
don't forget the paintings.
Oh, the paintings on the frescoes that are, that are.
This was done way before Renaissance days.
Exactly, 1,500 years old. I'm doing a very poor job of describing it. What else can you say?
Well, they had figured out a way to distribute the water throughout the city using pressure, and what they did was higher up on the mountain they had a cistern that provided pressure because they were able to move the running water up 3 stories in some of these buildings, and then other tubes just went around the buildings just to add cooling, evaporative cooling, early poor man's AC.
Incredible.
And it was very famous because the women were considered the artisans of the day, and they decorated the underside of the rock where there were natural occurring caves with these phenomenal frescoes. And like I said, they had figured out the way to coat it and then to paint into it using all natural colors and stuff from the barks and the trees and berries and all. I'm going to have to do some reading up on it because it was very, very interesting.
I think that's probably what I did when I signed up. I kind of Googled the site and said, oh, this looks really cool. Yeah, we're doing this. So we climbed. Now, when we did climb, there, along with our guide, there were 2 young men that helped us climb. So that was good. 23 flights we climbed. I only know this because I watched, but that was a long way.
It was a long way up.
And let's not forget it's 100 degrees.
Yes.
Not a lot of shade.
Now, that was 100 degrees real temperature.
Yeah.
It's probably 115 or more real feel.
I was not feeling real good. And I was climbing up this one last step of stairs and looking up and just going, this girl's not going to make it. I'll just tell them, I'll wait here. I'll catch you on the way down. God bless. And so we get a little bit further up, and the other woman says, yeah, we're done.
We did make it to the Lion's Gate, though.
Yes, there was a plateau. That was about 3/4 of the way up the mountain. It had lion's feet, and he explained that at one point there was a lion's mouth that would have been the entry up that final staircase up to the top. It was still a fair ways to go, and we were all defiant that we were not going to go.
We all wimped out.
We did. It was fine. But even from there, the views were fantastic. We were very high up. I mean, not our ears weren't popping or anything, but
it was hundreds of feet.
Yeah. Very proud of us for having done that and experienced this.
Considering the other 6 people drove all the way out there and didn't want to get out to even go look at it.
Well, they rode tuk-tuks around it.
Yeah, so they did a tuk-tuk ride just all the way around the rock.
One woman never even got out of the bus.
They never even saw the palace or anything.
No. Did we see the palace? Well, we did.
We did.
We saw the whole, yes. So, yes, our guide takes us all back. We get back in the bus.
4 hours back.
Yep. We stopped 2 hours in for a comfort break.
And we just barely made it to the boat in time for dinner.
Exactly. So it was 12 hours we were gone.
Yes.
No lunch. A lot of sweating.
Yeah, tons.
Exactly. My iPad crapped out. I was on 10% when we arrived. So I knew I didn't have much going back. I did use it all. I looked out the window a lot. Now, we did stop at a Buddhist shrine or temple. And we saw some monkeys there that were, eating the offerings left for the Buddha. So they were funny. And, but that was just a quickie little stop.
That was a 15-20 minute break.
Yes. So in all, the tour that we signed up really just got us there. And then we had to, do the things ourselves, which worked out incredibly well. Again, glad I did it.
Wouldn't do it again.
8 hours is a big investment in time. Yeah.
Yes. Because there were other things we could have done. Mm-hmm. And going into this, we thought it was just a 2-hour ride. In
fact, there was an elephant excursion that you could go and wash elephants.
Mm-hmm. It was an elephant rescue.
Yeah. And we said, 2 hours. We're not doing that. I'm not riding a bus for 2 hours. I wish we'd done that now.
Yeah. Baby elephants look cute.
Oh, they did. The pictures we saw. Alabama Linda got to feed them.
Well, if you were there, you could have done it.
No, she said she was the only one that got to feed them out of the whole group.
All right.
Yes. So now we did see a little bit of wildlife when we were there in the bottom because it was all covered with trees and it was really quite lovely. He said there was swimming pools all around, that they spent a lot of time on water sports, these ancient folk. We saw a squirrel.
Oh, yes.
He was the cutest damn squirrel you ever saw in your life.
I don't know if I'd call him cute.
I thought he was adorable.
Okay.
Had a little pink nose. Oh, gorgeous. Lots of stray dogs.
Yes.
Yeah. And some birds, and we saw some real pretty water lily ponds.
And lotus blossoms.
And what? Lotus blossoms, absolutely. And then driving back, we got to drive into Colombo in the dusk, or it was dark by the time we got there. So they have an observation tower. Wow. Doesn't every city in Southeast Asia have an observation tower? But this one is shaped like a lotus flower, and it changes colors.
Yes.
It was really
got
pretty.
A little video of that.
So a little video. So, that was well worth seeing. And, so Sri Lanka, great country. We had one more day, but this ducks are. So we really had 3 days in Sri Lanka,
Right.
all told. But that's for another episode.
That is.
I
I think that's it.
That's it for today, folks.
This episode is in the can.
It is. So we need to send a postcard.
Who to this time?
I'm thinking today's postcard is going to go to Rob and Rebecca
Okay.
in Georgia, who are Sri Lankan at heart, I'm sure. They have lots of dogs, so they would have appreciated all the dogs around.
Yes.
So, yes.
Okay. Well, that's
Okay.
cool.
All right.
All right, guys.
We'll see you on the next time.
Yes.
Still going to be in Sri Lanka. So,
All right.
all right.
Wait for it.
Wait for it. See you soon. Bye.